This is shocking admission of hobby corruption. We did bid on each other's items. This is disgraceful. And what was intended to be a defense, it ended up being one long confession. 100% agree. The PRyan Redemption Tour is making the perception of his behavior even worse. Dr. Beckett not only platforming this guy, but agreeing with this guy. And that was I don't care that he platformed the guy. It's good to platform people. It's good to have people on, but he just agreed with it all. And it was frustrating. So anyways, you see the comments, lots of ethical gymnastics. And that's kind of what Petty is referring to. It's not illegal, but man, it's definitely some ethical, it's definitely anyways, let's listen.
Had a conversation with Patrick PRyan, about the circumstances of how he found himself in an awkward situation, thought to be shill bidding, which I think has different definitions to different people. And I thought, Patrick, let's start with your situation and then move toward some of the nuances of what shill bidding is and what it isn't, what's bad and what's worse, and what's frankly legal in many cases. I thought about calling this Saving Private Ryan. Or saving Patrick Ryan. But Patrick doesn't need saving. He's a very sharp guy. He's admitted he made a mistake. He bid on his own item, but there's more to the story. Thanks, Patrick, for sharing your story, and I hope people will have a better understanding of what is shill bidding and what it isn't. What we really need to be worried about is bad actors. So here it is.
What happened was I sold through this company called Acquire. It was the first time I ever had anything.
Oh, so he's already making this setting a narrative. We have to define shill bidding. I'm going to go to like authorities. I have a definition. I have this from 10 years ago from a trusted auctioneer who did like over 300, I can't remember, for some crazy amount of auctions, not cards. And, Beckett's, his definition of shill bidding, which we'll get to later and right there, is wrong. It's not entirely correct.
Go to auction with them. And for these auctions that have extended bidding, I bid on so many things when the auction opens. And a lot of times I'm bidding on Heritage or Golden or Fanatics, and I get a notification saying you're not eligible to bid on this because it's your item. In this case, I see that I bid on it and I go, oh my goodness, that was my card. And my bid went through. So I say to myself, I was like, worst case scenario.
Admission.
I can at least now track it this way, because Acquire didn't even email me that my auctions were live. So
that's already what the hell kind of thinking is, hey, they didn't email. I bid on my own card. It's all right though. I'm going to follow it this way. Now I can follow the card. If this guy's really in cards, which he is, a lot of people know him. He knows what the fuck he's doing. That's a bullshit answer right there. The rest of it, I don't care. Right there, you've lost me, because that's already a BS answer. Oh, I'll just follow my card that way. No, what do you think? Or is that just how we do business now? Is that just what's going on in the hobby? And that's what's accepted? No. And right there, he loses me. I don't care the rest. He lost me on this. That's a big, quick, I'll just follow the card. I realized I bid on things all the time. I didn't know it was mine. Oh, that is some BS. You know exactly that card was yours.
Not only are you a hot dog, a grandstander, a showboat, and a prima donna, but you're a liar too.
All right. Too good.
The next morning, I email them and say, hey guys, can you email me a list of all my listings? And they send me over the list, and I see that Michael Jordan card, and I pull it up. And it was already $10,000 more than I bid. Look, I should have raised my hand and said, hey guys, I made a mistake. What do we do here? They probably would have said, don't worry about it. Now, the big mistake I made is I promoted the card, posting a screenshot showing that I was outbid. Now, what's so funny is,
that's a little stupid. I don't think it's funny. I think that you got caught up. This is the one post. Oh, come on. I'm all about second chances. I'm all about, so where there's smoke, there's fire, but it's good but they don't ever, this whole fucking interview, ever go into any accountability, how this could happen in the hobby, how this does happen in the hobby, whether the guy's innocent or not. They just play it off like it's everything's rosy, everything's great.
Some of the naysayers they're yelling at other naysayers, calling them stupid because they're like, he didn't shill bid, because if he was shill bidding, he wouldn't have been so blatant about it. I mistakenly bid on my own item, which is actually very different than shill bidding. And it was wrong, right?
It's wrong. There's morals and ethics. But
also, the direct intent, okay, I'll just follow the card that way. First of all, it's a lie. You're bidding on your stuff, and you're normally not sharing the fucking screenshot. Let's come out and say it. Why? What's the deal? That's what happened. And instead of taking accountability, you're balls deep in this industry, or trying to be in it, or being in it. And now we're doing a PR game here. And I was hoping Beckett's channel wouldn't be that. I'm going to do 2 more minutes, and then we'll bring back Petty. Oh, we got to hear more. And Orlando.
And we encourage everybody to abide by the rules of the auction, or even the rules of the intermediary consignment broker, which I've been in situations where I was helping a friend that there were actually 5 stages, and I was number 3 in the chain. And so I'm talking to Rick Probstein, who's going to put the cards from my friend's deceased uncle, and he's working through me. And so I call up Rick and I say, look, I'm doing this for a friend of a friend, my good friend, but his brother-in-law passed away. He's got some great cards, not all great cards, but I've given some of these to you. Can I bid on those? Because at X price, I'd be a buyer. There's some decent things in there. And he said, you're not the owner of the cards. I said, I know, but I'm consigning them to you on behalf of my friend whose wedding I was in, who's doing it for his nieces and nephews. And he said, then it's going to eBay. eBay isn't going to catch it. Rick is saying, I understand. If you were the consigner of your own cards, then no, you shouldn't do that. Correct. Don't bid on it no matter what. Now, the issue that comes up for me that I do want to get out there is that my interest in these items was only in the case of reserve not met. Reserves, I had promised my friend, hey, you're going to get this. I'm giving it to Probstein.
And so on eBay, you can pay a percentage, which people don't want to do, and they don't want those. They want the card to sell. But you can. So if that's the case, you shouldn't bid on your own card to have a reserve. You should pay the fee like an honest gentleman, lady, and pay for the reserve fee. Am I misunderstanding?
He gets good prices. You're not going to get way above market. Some will go below, some will go above, but you're not going to get clobbered. Okay. On a couple of them, because the description, it's looking bad. So that's why I'm calling Rick and saying, he said, no, you can bid. Because number
Come on. That's not funny. Rick Probstein, who just went with Snipe, is saying, bro, go ahead. Bid. You're the co-signer. You're the one submitting them, but don't. You could bid on them. It's all good. This sounds like it's almost what's accepted in what's happening. So you can bid on your own card in some direct or other fashion. Not
one, I'm not the owner. And number 2, this is still way below market. I'm not bidding it up. I'm saying at that price, I'm a buyer. And if you allowed me to have a reserve, it would be reserve not met, which is in effect putting in a bid for the consigner.
There's so many tangential issues. When I made this mistake, I tell the acquire guy, firstly, the acquire guys will do a better job of reminding people. So they've got to build technology. Here's the links to your auction. Reminder, do not bid on your own. Just basic stuff. And I said, why don't you just tie my name to everything? And they're like, we would never do that. We need the anonymity because we don't want you to get poached. By the way, my post where I showed that I was outbid was live for 18 hours before anyone noticed. And I think,
so what does that tell you? But they don't even dive into any of it. He just wants the heat off him. That's it. And we could listen to the rest later. I want to bring these guys back on, but I'm going to have to get out of this. So I just want to make a couple points before we do that. Here's the here's the definition that I found off Collins. Definitely, when you look it up, this is what shill bidding, the legal practice of a seller or seller's acquaintance placing bids on his or her goods in order to drive up the price. Well, no, we don't want to drive up the price. We just want to make a floor. Well, by you making a floor, it shows someone else is interested. It changes everything. And what exactly is the floor? That's pretty subjective.
I got to tell you,
what a clusterfuck.
I'm very disappointed in Dr. Jim. Yeah,
this
they
guy, I
really-
mean, he had no pushback at all to this guy. I mean, the
Right.
guy tells 3 lies in a row. First he says he wanted to track his item. Well, you can track it any auction. You just press track and you're tracking it. You don't have to bid on an item to track it. Then he posts the item. And why did he post it? To pump it. He wants to pump the item. He wants to pump it and pump it and pump it so everybody else
Right.
can keep bidding and bidding and bidding. Next, he starts blaming the company. Oh, look, it's their fault. They didn't tell me.
Yep.
Oh, come on, guy. You can't tell me that
Acquire.
all those things. So there's 3 things right there that he says, and no pushback whatsoever in that.
Exactly.
It's all cheating, and that's what you got to call it.
Well, I think
that's what
from
it
going
is.
forward, we could call that the PRyan shill. The PRyan shill is when you forget that you bid on your own stuff. So that's perfectly
Gotta
legal
coin
now,
it so
according
we
to
remember,
Beckett.
because the hobby will
The PRyan
forget.
shill. There's different types of shilling, obviously. The
What do you
That's
call
just
it
the
again?
first
P.
5
Ryan
minutes.
Shill?
And it
PRyan
continues
shill is
on.
the
I
best.
heard the whole interview. He continues on, and he continues to make excuses, blaming the auction company, blaming the post that he put up. He shill bid. He tried to pump and dump the thing by putting it up there. I'm sure he didn't realize that his bid would be on that.
Especially
until
if he
somebody
said
called
that he
him on
saw
it.
this was his first time he said that he used Acquire. So I've never heard of the stupid company, but then Ziggy reminds me that it's run by the same guy, Jesse Craig, who was at PWCC, he left there and he went to some kind of what was it called? Hero Sports. And was that with Jason Kuntz? Remind me.
I think that was
A
before,
partnership?
though.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it was, I'm just saying that's his history. Now he's with the choir, and now how all of a sudden, the shill bidding is coming in from his website, and it's just that these 2 knuckleheads are intertwined in the
Teddy,
hobby. It's like,
remember Jesse Craig was also with Moser.
Oh, no way.
I did not realize that they were
when they were at
partner, too.
PWCC.
Well, that says everything.
He was the one that was taking in all of the cards
I
for
get you.
Moser.
So he was the middle
Jesse
guy.
Craig's been through it all with this
With
the
Brent.
PWCC guy and his wife Betsy. They were all in it together,
Right.
And
Well,
they
there
were
you-
caught
Yeah. So
doing it on
I mean-
eBay, and they were doing it for years until eBay finally had to basically kick them off. But
that
you know,
eBay
it's
did,
just
and then
happening
they were
after
kind of
that.
going away on their own platform too at the same time. I mean, eBay could have had those guys off. They should have had them off 3 years before that. Not only for shill bidding, like I just said, just for blatantly selling trim cards and bidding shit up. Their own guys were bidding shit up to buy the cards so they could give them to the trimmers. So they were overpaying for cards that looked like they were wide borders, and they would identify certain cards and they would just go after them. Remember, they'd buy them. PWCC would buy them under those different IDs,
Exactly.
Mosier and all the.
And it was all exposed on Blowout and Net 50.
Blowout
The
was
problem
awesome.
is, and the problem is, even us talking about all this stuff, maybe 10%, and that's high amount. 10% of the hobby is watching and knowing this. The other 90% of the people that are bidding out there, they have no idea that this is going on. They're not watching us. They're not watching YouTube. They're collecting on their own.
A lot
They're
of
just
newer
going through this
people,
thing,
too.
and
Well,
they're
probably
saying,
a lot of
"Hey,
people
these
are hearing
comps
this for the
real. These
first
comps are
time,
real."
maybe, but maybe the people too that maybe they're reaching a few people that haven't heard of this story before.
Oh,
but it's been going-
100%, without a
Most
doubt.
people haven't heard about it.
He's right,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
But why would you bid on the same card you're selling? Because you're in love with the card. You don't want to let it go for under a certain price.
And I'm going to be honest, I was a little heartbroken because Beckett, I was a kid going to the card shop, and there's Fleer and Upper Deck and Tops. There's a lot of different products. There was one Beckett. And so I was a little heartbroken to hear this it didn't have to go down like this.
Interactions with them. I mean, look, you just did an interview with them 2 weeks ago. You just did a hobby hotline with them. I mean, I've done nothing but call the poor guy names just because he won't.
Why do I believe that?
Just because he won't laugh at my jokes on hobby hotline for 2 solid years. So I just figured he has it in for me. So if you have it in for me, you're going to get it back double. And that's, and I've been pretty tame because I can see some of this. He makes good points, only they're not, I would never have that integrity level. You shouldn't do it. It's not, I don't know. Who knows how deep it is? Just don't
it's
do
deep.
it. Just why try to game every effing thing in your life? Would you have to live that way? I mean, can't you just play by the rules once in your life?
Part of the problem is that, the auction houses are all allowing it. There's very few auction houses that won't let you bid on your own card. Most of them will.
Or
They'll tell you that you
if
can.
you do, they don't stop you. And if you're not telling them, they don't know. So what they don't know won't hurt them.
They're like, there's no way someone would be that stupid. Or my brand is very forthright. They in general don't love people promoting cards because they don't like the idea of the auction house knowing who has what. And they have that right to want to protect their customer list. So then obviously talking heads had a right to come after me because I did make a mistake. I did something wrong. What was also hard for me is I had no sense of guilt because I know my intentions.
Shill bidding.
If you're just joining us, listen to the first part of this interview. Patrick Ryan was on Beckett, and it was just a shit interview, just total PR, just total. He's going to tell you right now, shill bidding is with intent. Okay, I disagree. I fully disagree. In articles I read, kind of disagree with that too. There's maybe a fine line you could argue that. I completely disagree. What other intent do you have when you bid on a card? What other fucking intent do you have than to drive it up or create a false narrative or pretend other people are interested at that price? So how do you know his intent in his heart? And the thing that sucks is I really respect Beckett, and I don't want to be coming at Beckett. But this was a bullshit interview, man. And I kind of told him so in the email in nicer words.
Actually defined by intent.
Right.
And they have to assume your intent or give you a negative association based on not acquire, but based on the legacy or predecessor of acquire, that people ought to be innocent until proven guilty.
Some good dialogue has come up. Like there are auction houses in Canada where you're allowed to bid on your own item.
So again, people should be proven or innocent until proven guilty, but then why are we not, he's just caught up in this. Why are you just giving him a platform to freely speak and agree with? There has to be some sort of, by the way, I was not aware of Patrick Ryan, but he's very big. He made that I did a few videos on. He had this big card that he got signed and showed it to Brady, and he's on the field here with his meet and greets with Rock and Tiger Woods. And so this is him. He's a hobnobber. He's an elbow schmoozer. This is what he does.
Auction house in Arizona where there's hidden reserves. These are things that a lot of people didn't know. And so a lot of people, wait a second, what he did, firstly, isn't apropos in many communities. In effect, that what I did wasn't what it looked like.
It's clearly not illegal. It may not even be unethical in the sense there's no attempt to manipulate.
Bro, you're just protecting him. You're not even allowing any, this is a protection interview. And this is what I argue. One of the reasons I'm very frustrated is because this is most interviews in the hobby. Now he wants to make sure there's good people in the hobby. Well, you know what? 95% of the fucking content just shoves it down your throat. Not everyone's good. TikTok Live, whatnot, YouTube. Oh, yeah, it's the same as 1983 when not everyone was good back then either.
Manipulate. The problem is when they don't even pay. They'll bid it up. If they win, they don't pay. And then they've established a comp in some kind of bizarre way. But they're in a situation where they're way above market. That's the manipulation. To me, defensive shilling as opposed to manipulative offensive shilling. Defensive shilling in the sense of bidding on your own stuff. It's not shilling if you intend to pay. You say, I'm going to buy it for that. I'm not bidding it up. I'm saying at that price, count me in. I'll buy it back.
A number of people came to me say, my friends, we bid on one another's items just to protect them because we're not going to let some other idiot get a really good deal.
Wait, excuse me? First of all, let's acknowledge this. Ziggy and Jill was great for the show. It was awesome. It was epic. He gave him a big fuck you. He called him about his women sports book. It might as well be Breakers. Hey, they're cute. They're not ugly. They had a good idea. We might not see them. I don't know. We won't see Ziggy there. They're cute. I mean, they'll keep getting views. Do they get views? I have no idea because I don't break. So maybe it's a good business model. Maybe we'll see them for years. I have no idea. Naked. That's what Petty brought up. Naked breakers. When's that happening? And that's how a lot of these guys treat these cards. Like it's the finest fucking woman they've ever seen. Going crazy over a fucking little card. Look how we're going to look so stupid in 30 years when no one gives a shit.
Protection is below this implicit reserve. That does not mess with comps. In fact, comps would be messed up if you didn't have that.
I have to rewind this because that's crazy what they just said, and I got on a little.
We bid on one another's items just to protect them because we're not going to let some other.
Even he's saying some other idiot.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Not only are you a hot dog, a grandstander, a showboat, and a prima donna, but you're a liar too.
I can't believe what they just said. And it's my worry is Beckett and this guy they're in it. And then you have Probstein is in it. So it's just all part of the industry then. This is just looked at as accepted. The definition, I know some guy, you don't need to tell us the definition of shill bidding. Well, fuck you, I'm going to do it again anyways. The illegal practice of a seller or seller's acquaintance is placing bids on his or her good in order to drive up the price. Oh, we just want to create a floor. We just want to protect them. Then pay the fucking reserve. Then start your auction at that price. But that's not good for you either. So instead, you're going to shill. And this is true shilling. And it's such BS. I was shocked when I heard this in the morning. I was disappointed. I was shocked. I was frustrated. Anyone that hears it knows it's BS. What are we doing here? Selling an agenda?
Idiot get a really good deal. And
Protection is defensive shilling as opposed to manipulative offensive shilling. Defensive shilling in the sense of bidding on your own stuff. It's not shilling if you intend to pay. You say, I'm going to buy it for that. I'm not bidding it up. I'm saying at that price, count me in. I'll buy it back.
A number of people can say, my friends, we bid on one another's items just to protect them because we're not going to let some other idiot get a really good deal. And
protection is below this implicit reserve. That does not mess with comps. In fact, comps would be messed up if you didn't have that. I've actually put in something for another friend with PWCC a long time ago, and they were incorrectly listed. And I did not call him.
He keeps going back to an anecdote about, this one time I was helping sell some cards for a fucking guy that died and his kids, or now. This is not what happened, Beckett. This motherfucker put a $20,000 bid on his card and then said, I'm just following it. And, it riles me up. This is the agenda these people want to fucking push. And the thing that really sucks is I admire Beckett. We all do. Not with this shit take.
My concern for reputation, I didn't bid. And so they went for less than 20 cents on the dollar.
Out of concern for reputation. Because it's the right thing to fucking not do. Bid on it. Because when you do, it ruins your reputation because it's wrong.
Okay.
Wow.
Because they were inappropriately listed. Okay. And I didn't get a chance to change it until the last minute. And so I messed up for my friend. So my reputational damage is to my friend that said, hey, you're going to get us good prices for this. You didn't. Okay. So I bit my lip, even though I would absolutely be a buyer at that. If there'd been a reserve, I wouldn't have had a problem. But they want reserves.
I have less of a problem with the reserve if I know what the reserve is. But I will say I will stay away from reserve auctions because what are we really doing here? What do you think about the world of reserves? Is there a solution?
The workaround is that if an auction house says we don't do reserves under any circumstance, number one, the bigger ones, I don't think that's true because you get a nice enough item, they're going to want it. Okay, so then the question is not, is there a reserve? And I don't even have a problem if it's hidden. I have a problem if it's unrealistic. Again, the auction houses are.
It's not. I don't give a shit what you think. Because you're wrong. This is an opinion. I mean, again, this guy did auctions for 30 years. The shill bids, and if the bidding only reaches an amount less than Frank is willing to accept, the shill buys the item and would typically pay for the item in return. The shill bids with the intent of influencing other bids, hoping to see the level of interest in the item and gauge value based upon bidding. And that is what's happening. And he's just pretending it didn't and glossed it over and gave Dr. fucking Sonny Boy Patrick Ryan a little pat on the head. Good boy. It's okay, buddy. Good boy. We'll protect you. Good boy. And the fucking shame, I'm going to say it again, is Beckett is respected or supposed to be.
We're taking care of that by saying, hey, Patrick, we love your item. We think we can get big bucks for it.
Good boy.
But we cannot accept a reserve that high. It'll be damage to our reputation. Somebody will bid it up. They think they're going to win. Oh, reserve not met.
And I will say, I do think the auction houses generally do a good job of, they don't want unrealistic reserves. Golden had one of the Wagners recently, and I was going after it pretty hard. And then a day before it ended, the $5 million reserve came out. And I was like, that seems like a nutty high reserve. But with a card like that, I understand Golden.
But then you're afraid as the auctioneer, the guy selling it, that it's not going to get the love. It's not going to get the bids. Oh, it's already at $5 million. I'm not paying that. Let's let it naturally get up there. So then you piss off your customers. And just like this guy said, it's really the truth. This is a shocking admission of hobby corruption. We did bid on each other's items. So easily said. So like it's industry standard. And what was the other one? A lot of ethical gymnastics. No, there was one else I really liked. The PRyan Redemption Tour is making the perception and the behavior worse. Patrick Ryan discusses with his friends that he bids on his own items really rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, I make sure I post. I don't agree with most of this. What was said here, actually a bit surprised. 14 hours ago. I'm a bit shocked by Dr. Beckett's take.
What up, everybody? This is Robert Ory, a.k.a. Big Shot Bob, and you're watching Professional Sports Cards. Hey, by the way, go buy my rookie card.